So first who, then what? Getting the right people on the bus. We just finished the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, I believe it is, here at Big Red Jelly as leadership team. And what a game changer, right? What a classic book. And that's now a term that we use all the time, getting the right people on the bus. I just thought I would share the 3 points in kind of my own words that he highlights in that chapter about getting the right people on the bus. I think if there's one piece of advice that I would give younger Josh when starting Big Red Jelly, especially in the service industry. So if you're a business owner and entrepreneur in the service industry, you've got to keep this in mind. It's all about the people. You are in the business of people. You're in the business of time. You're in the business of trading hours for dollars. You are servicing. You're not selling products. You have a team of experts and you're using those people to create a service. And so the people are so important. And I think if I go back in time, I would have invested a lot more time and focus on getting the right people on the bus instead of trying to create the perfect process that would work for anyone. It's just not going to be the case. So here are 3 tips that Jim Collins gives in this chapter. First who, then what on the bus, right? So if you get the right people on the bus, it doesn't matter where the bus is going. They're all going to be on the bus and said, okay, we've got the right team here. Now we can decide where to steer the bus. And I think that's just such a pressure relief for entrepreneurs or business owners. So focus on getting the right people on the bus first and then deciding where you should steer the bus. Number 2, when you have the right people on the bus, you don't have to be motivating these types of people. I think that's a misconception in kind of business ownership and entrepreneurship, is that one of your jobs as the business owner is to motivate. I think maybe in some cases, but what he highlights in this chapter is actually it's just making sure that you don't demotivate them or unmotivate them, if that's a word. If you have A players on the bus and the right people on the bus, they are motivating themselves, right? If you have people on the bus that are finding it hard to be motivated, it's probably not the right person. And I made that mistake for many, many, many years here, where I was constantly trying to motivate and explain why it was important. And it was so refreshing to read through this book and have the author say, if you find yourself having to do that and convincing people and trying to motivate people all the time, it's not the right people. Get them off the bus. The other key point here is that he mentions that A players want to play with A players, right? So one of the best things you can do, in fact, it's better for you and for B players, is to kind of show them the door, right? Because it's going to be better for them and it's going to be better for you and it's going to be better for your team. And there's one thing that will frustrate A players the most, and that is to be surrounded by B and C players. So I know it sounds harsh, but I think we've seen that time and time and time again. Number 3 is the wrong people, right? So he kind of says here in the book, if we get the right people on the bus and the right people in the right seats and the wrong people off the bus, then we'll figure out how to take it someplace great. Then he goes a little bit deeper here and he says, okay, 3rd, if you have the wrong people, it doesn't matter whether you discover the right direction. You still won't have a great company. Again, I've made that mistake in the past. I processed everything out perfectly. I was trying to motivate as much as possible. I was trying to develop myself personally. But if you have the wrong people on the bus, none of that matters. So be smarter and get the right people. And we've all been in that situation where you bring someone onto the bus who is an A player, who is the right person on the bus, and it's an absolute game changer. So this is what I've learned from this chapter. Good to great. First who, then what. Get the right people on the bus. Give it a try.